look, I think it's about time to go. So thank you very much, everyone who has joined us this evening, and welcome back. Welcome to tonight's Zoom Q&A session. This is being run in association with the Dragons Official Supporters Club and with the support of our fantastic headline partners, Compeed. My name is Polly James. I'm going to make sure that this Zoom runs as smoothly as possible. So, without further ado, there we go. So without further ado tonight, we have got Gonzalo Bertranou with us. We've got James Benjamin and Aneurin Owen as well. Live from his COVID den at home. We've got 24 hours left until you're allowed to leave, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. Plus a very special guest as well, but more about him in just a second. But first of all, a big thank you to everyone who's sent questions in over the last couple of days. We'll do as many as we possibly can. And you can also ask questions as well via the messenger. If you've been on these Zoom sessions before, throughout the next sort of 45 minutes, don't be shy, use the messenger box. And any questions that spring to mind during the chat, we'll get them down and we'll try and get them answered by the boys a little bit later on. So we're just talking about some housekeeping rules.
Paranoid.
Could you please keep your microphones? So if you're just joining us now, make sure your microphones are on mute unless you are.
JJ's on.
JJ's on, that's right, you've spotted him. But if you could keep your microphones off and less invited to speak, and we do this just because otherwise.
That was me. JJ's on.
You got big fans there, JJ. You're ruining my surprise, whoever that is talking. There we go. Anyway, look, finally, a huge thank you to Compeed, who are tonight giving away a jersey signed by tonight's star trio. And everyone who's registered has automatically gone into the draws. So you're all, everyone who's in here, you're all in the hat, and we're going to announce a winner at the end of the night. So thank you very much to Compeed for providing that amazing prize. So let's get comfy. The Night with the Dragons live from your living room. First up, before we announce our three guests that you all know about, before we speak to those guys, you've probably seen the news today. Dragons have announced that JJ Hanrahan will be joining the region next season on a long-term deal. And as a special surprise, we have the man here himself with us tonight, live from France. Welcome, JJ.
Hey guys, thanks very much for having me. How are you doing?
Well, how are you, JJ? And most importantly, how happy are you to be joining Dragons? It must be very exciting for it to finally be announced.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. It's great that it's finally announced. I can actually start telling some people now and breaking the news, which is actually something I quite enjoy. I'm very, very excited to be coming to Dragons next season. And particularly that it's kind of a longer term deal. It's something that I can get to bite my teeth into and feel a part of a group, and I'm really looking forward to what's in the future.
Absolutely, and you already know that you got some fans, especially on Zoom tonight, JJ. But what was it about the Dragons that made you decide that this was the right move for you?
Well, for me, I suppose it started out with a conversation with Dean, and when I spoke to him, basically his passion and I suppose his drive and commitment to where he wanted to get the club to really kind of came through in the conversation. And then I obviously did my own research, and you look into facilities in terms of training facilities, and you look into the squad. And for me, there's a really, really good mix of top level world-class internationals and some really quality young players. Some of them are on the call tonight. And for me, having that mix is really, really important in a group. And hopefully I can come in and add some value, and we can take the region to new heights in the next couple of years.
Oh, it's fantastic to hear. And you must be looking forward to getting back in the United Rugby Championship.
Yes, very much so. It's a competition I obviously know well from my time in Ireland with Munster. It's a competition that's growing in competitiveness all the time. I think you can see that, particularly the introduction of some South African teams as well. So it's really exciting. It's not an easy competition by any means. So I'm looking forward to getting back and testing myself in that competition again.
So come on then, JJ. What have you learned from your spell with Clemont in France, and what are you going to bring to us here at Dragons?
I've learned a lot by the French language. So no, it's been a great experience so far. 6-7 months in now at this stage, and one thing I suppose for me, getting away from Munster, in terms of obviously very comfortable with the structures they had there, and coming to a team like Clemont, which is very much a different philosophy, a different DNA. The way rugby's played in France, it's very different and quite unique at times. So to kind of learn that experience, and I suppose to find different ways to skin a cat, for the want of another word, is it's been a great learning for me, and hopefully it's something I can potentially bring to Dragons, and for me also, I suppose learning the way Dragons play going forward, but also if I can bring something from here, it'd be great.
Fantastic. And JJ, you'll learn very quickly that there is a brilliant sense of community around the club, around, Rodney Parade, around the Dragons itself. And I suppose my final question to you is, what message do you have for all the supporters looking ahead to next season?
I suppose firstly, I want to thank them all for how nice they've been to me in the last few hours alone. Just coming along, and some of the messages that I've got have been very, very nice and have been incredible, really. And I suppose just keep supporting the boys. I suppose they're going to be, the fans are everything in terms of getting it going, and it's particularly after COVID and lockdown. I suppose the support is everything, and the boys really love it on the field. And I'm looking forward to getting there next year and playing in front of a Rodney Parade crowd.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, JJ, and we look forward to welcoming you to Rodney Parade very soon. If you can give JJ like a little big round of applause, he can see you if you've got your. There we go. Awesome. JJ, thank you.
Thanks very much.
It's probably been a very, very overwhelming, exciting day for you. So you're more than welcome to stay on and join in with the chat. But if you have to be off anywhere, but we will see you soon. And thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Chat soon.
Awesome. So, thank you very much, JJ. Move on and meet our other guest this evening. Firstly, let's go to Gonzalo Bertranou. Welcome to you, Gonzalo. How have you settled into life here? Have you developed a Welsh accent yet, or not quite?
Hi, good night, everyone. Hope you are having a good time with your family and all your kids. No, I have to improve my accent, but I'm speaking quite good, and my teammates understand me, so that's the most important thing, I think so.
Well, you speak very good English, I must say. But I mean, how have you settled into life here as a Dragon? Is it better than what you expected?
Yeah. First one is it's not easy to settle down in another country, another language, another culture, but it's have been past a little bit more than a year, so I get used to, and I'm really happy staying here and being here in a beautiful country. So I'm really happy to be here.
Absolutely. And have you enjoyed playing in Wales and obviously the United Rugby Championship? And is it different to Super Rugby, or what are the comparisons or differences?
Yeah, it's a different type of rugby, different kind of weather in the most part of the competition. And also, I think that one of the most important thing and best things that Wales have is the fans, the supporters, and the environment in every game. So that's, I think, is similar that when we play in Argentina, that's a really good thing for us, and I'm really happy playing here.
Fantastic. And a big game on Sunday, the Ulster, obviously excited to get back on home soil.
Yeah. I know that it's going to be a tough game also, with the Irish guys coming back, because they have the free week of the Six Nations. So looking forward to play that game, to put in the field what we are training and playing better. So just resting today, resting tomorrow, and looking forward also for training Thursday, a good weekend with the boys.
Fantastic. Well, look, I'll leave it there with me for you, Gonzalo. And I know there's a lot of questions a little bit later on, so do stay with us. Our next special guest tonight is James Benjamin. James, can I call you Jumbo? Is that all right? I know that's your nickname.
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Welcome to the Zoom call, Jumbo. How has your season been at Dragons? How would you assess your season? Are you pleased with your own performances in a new position, of course?
Yes, obviously, I wasn't expecting to play a lot, obviously, with the transition to hooker from back row. So get a couple of games was pleasing. Obviously, it's a bit of a baptism of fire, and I feel like I learned a lot in those games personally. But yeah, on the whole, I've been pretty pleased. I played a bit of rugby on loan at the start of the season down Cornish Pirates, which was an invaluable experience for me. So I'm pretty pleased, yeah.
Fantastic. And how is the mood in the camp as we approach, I suppose, the last few months of the season?
Yeah, it's good. I think obviously it's been very difficult, and I think in the last game against Treviso, we were just watching the game. We were just desperate to win the game, and we were trying everything to try and win it. You could see that at the last kick of the game, we're trying to play it from the try line, which with 40 men, you wouldn't suggest is the best idea. But that's just purely from the passion and the want to, to pay the fans back and pay the hard work back and get a victory. So, and I think past 2 weeks especially, we've been lucky to have a bit of time just to sort of reassess, maybe to press a bit of a reset and take a fresh look at things. And I think I'd say probably last 2 weeks been the best training we've had, especially last week. It was tough, working really hard, crossed a lot of T's, dotted a lot of I's tactically. I think we're in a really good place now for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. So you're still optimistic, still lots that you can achieve as a squad over the next couple of months? Yeah,
definitely. If being honest, we haven't reached our potential at all. We've got so much more we can give. A squad on paper is great, and it's as strong as it has been. Certainly, it's up there, one of the squads since I've been around. It's just about getting that performance on the pitch and that way of playing and everybody working together, so then we can get over the finish line at the end of it.
Fantastic. Well, Jumbo, we'll be back with you very soon. I know lots of the supporters have got questions for you. But we'll move on to our next special guest, which is Aneurin Owen. Welcome, Aneurin. Let's just give these supporters a little bit of background. You're on your last day of isolation because last week you tested positive, right, for COVID. How are you feeling, and have you had any symptoms, and are you in 100% nick?
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, I tested positive on Thursday, so I've been in isolation for the last couple of days, and yeah, I've been fine. I've had no symptoms at all, and feeling like normal, really. So it's been different, and stuck in the house again, watching everyone else outside. So yeah, it's been different. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Let's have an assessment of your season. How has your season gone? I mean, you've been heavily involved, so that must have been pleased, and up until the last week, obviously.
Yeah, from that point of view, it's been really pleasing, and yeah, to get all this game time and experience, sort of invaluable to my sort of development. So I speak a lot about I'm learning a lot from every game, really, and picking little things out to try and get better at personally, and as well, try how to win matches and how to construct matches around that. So yeah, it's been really positive from my point of view, and I'm just really enjoying it as well, playing with the boys and the coaching team we've got as well. So it's been a really enjoyable season.
Yeah, do you know what? Whenever I speak to any of the guys at Dragon, especially the old season pros, they always pinpoint your name, Aneurin, as the sort of one to watch almost, or the youngster coming through. How does that make you feel? Does that pile on the pressure, or does that give you an extra confidence boost?
It's nice to hear those sort of things from, especially when you've got experienced guys in the squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, adds a little bit of pressure, but you also take it as a compliment, and obviously they see something, so you must be doing something right, I guess. So yeah, no, it's really nice of them to say things like that, really, and yeah, just try and take it on board and stuff like that. So yeah, really positive.
Awesome. And the Six Nations is going on at the moment. You had a little taste with Wales last season. Are you keen to get involved in the future?
Yeah, it gets worse when you see a couple of your mates playing, and boys you played with through the age grade as well. Sort of makes you want to be there, doesn't it?
Yeah, so,
sure. Yeah, that's the ambition, that's the sort of aim, and that's what I'm aiming for. So that's the drive going forward. So just got to try and keep working hard, and hopefully maybe eventually it'll happen.
Well, your name keeps getting mentioned all the time, Aneurin, so let's hope so. And finally, your thoughts on Ulster, big challenge against the league leaders.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I remember playing them in the Principality last year, and the sort of physicality of it was another level. It was a really tough encounter. And a bit on from what Jumbo said about, we've had some really tough conversations to start. Well, from when I was there, the start of last week, and from what it sounds like, it's put us in good stead moving forward with training. So yeah, it's a game with looking forward to, and it's going to be a really physical encounter.
I'm sure it will be. Well, look, thank you very much, Aneurin, for answering my questions, and all of you guys, Gonzalo and Jumbo as well. Let's now welcome Dan Hallett from the Dragons Official Supporters Club to speak and to ask the first question of your questions that you've got in tonight. So, Dan, if you can open your mic, please, and take it away for us.
Thank you, Polly. I think you've asked some of the questions I wanted, so I'll have to have a quick thought. That's all right. That's why I blame Ben. Well, first off, I'll go with Jumbo because my question for him hasn't definitely been asked. In your transition, any preferred voice of experienced hooker that you tend to listen to more? I know obviously Hibbs has now hung up his boots, but did you get much advice or off him and Elliot, or was it just?
Yeah, to be fair, like the whole front row has been so good to me. You talk about front row union, I feel extremely welcomed, and I certainly know what that's about. But yeah, like you said, Hibbs and Elliot both been great. Loads of little nuggets of knowledge and little things you can do. But ultimately you can do things differently. You have to find out your own way, especially if it's throwing. I think everyone's individual. It's very much find your own way. Scrumming, obviously there's certain things. If you're a certain body type, Hibbs is a different scrummer to me because he's a lot bigger, and I think he at a certain time he's one of the best scrummers in the world. So to pick up some experience from him is great. And Elliot is probably more of a similar build to me. So technically I have to be, spot on to be able to compete. But yeah, I think everyone's been brilliant, including like I've mentioned it before, Reece Lawrence last season did an awful lot of work with me one-on-one really before training, after training, which helped me massively, and I can't thank him enough really.
Yeah, nice and cozy between the tight head and loose head then, is it? Nice and warm.
Yeah, it's very comfortable up there. It's not pretty, man.
Taping the ears up and everything, make sure everything stays intact.
Oh, definitely, mate, definitely.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Gonzalo, Polly mentioned about your settling in Wales. Just wondering if there's any similar contrast between playing rugby in Argentina and playing in Wales. Is the type of game similar, or is the passion the same?
No, the passion. Hi, how are you? The passion is quite similar. Yeah, people here are crazy about the game and supported the team, and that's the way that Argentina also feel the game, and the supporters are pretty similar. The type of rugby is a little bit different, but I think it's just because of the weather and the ground conditions. But rugby is rugby, and that is the same in all part of the world.
Have you tried the local Welsh delicacy of cheese, chips and gravy from Boomers?
Not too much.
Yeah.
Now I'm preferring my food.
Great. Thank you, Gonzalo.
No, you're welcome.
And Aneurin, hopefully you have nice recovery and you don't have the fatigue after COVID. You've kind of lost one of your mentors, I suppose, with Jamie going down under. Are there any other players that you tend to sort of bend their ear or get advice from, I suppose? And have you got like a preference for 12 or 13, or is it just you're happy to fit in where your skill set is most needed?
Yeah, I probably prefer 12. That's probably where I got a bit more experience, but I'm happy to play 13 as well. There's a bit of difference defensively, I'd say. 12 being a lot more contacts, bit more physical. Whereas 13, you have to be a bit smarter around reading the game defensively and put yourself in good positions. Attacking wise, there's not too much difference, as you can sort of roam around the field a bit more and have a bit more freedom both sides. And yeah, now that Jamie's gone, when Jamie and Nick both came, they were both great in terms of the experience they had and the learnings I got from them, especially at the age and where I was in the squad sort of thing. That was unreal. And it's not just them too. You know, there's a lot of boys, you know, I'd learn off, especially the coaches as well. So I'm not too shy to ask many questions to boys. So you know, even people like Dixon and Adam Warren, you know, speaking to them constantly about different ways they see the game and their perspective. So yeah, there's still plenty of people to learn off.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you all for your answers. Polly, I'm just going to kind of jump in as well to remind, I don't know whether the people on the call have seen on Twitter that the Q&A with Mr. Buttress is up and running and ready to go for next Thursday. So it's an in-person Q&A this time. So have a look on Twitter or have a look on the Dragons website and sign up to come down to what I'm sure will be a very entertaining and informative evening a week Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. And yeah, just to reiterate what Dan says, that's going to be a great evening with Dave. So yeah, make sure you sign up and get yourself down there. I'm sure there's no holds barred when it comes to whatever David wants to say.
He's always very good value for money.
Absolutely, yeah. Dan, thank you so much once again, and thank you very much for all your support. It's brilliant. But and thank you for kicking us off there. So over to some of your questions that we've had in. Just a reminder, if anything springs into mind, if we've got time, then we can ask those questions. Just pop them in the chat box, which is on Zoom, the messenger bit there. But first of all, we'll start off with Nathan Williams, and this is a question to all of you. He says, how is the feeling in the camp with the results as they are, and is there a feeling that there is just a big performance coming? Let's start with, I think, is Gonzalo there? No, he's not, but we'll start with Jumbo and then Aneurin, and then Gonz can ask as well then.
I'm here.
Oh, perfect, there we go.
Sorry.
Go on, Jumbo, you can, oh, sorry, yeah.
If you want, I start,
yeah, go for it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, personally, I know, and we all know that we must be better and start winning games, but we are doing like extremely effort, and we are training really, really hard and focus on the things that we might be better to start doing that. And if we just focus on being better on training, being better every day, I think that the results is going to come with us. So I'm really pleased about how the boys are training and how the coach are trying to get us better. So that's my point of view.
Perfect. What about you, Jumbo? What do you think?
Yeah, I think certainly you're seeing signs of improvement. It's about consistency, and that's something we spoke about the past couple of weeks. Consistency of training, things that we're looking at, and how we're going to win games. Basically, I think as being the only forward here, we need to at least get parity at that set piece. I think you got to have a set target. You got to score a maul try a game. And I think if you do that, that puts you in a really good position to go on to win the game. That's something certainly as a pack of forwards which we focused on. I don't know what the stats are exactly, but I'm pretty sure this is one not of our best seasons in terms of getting tries from a scrum or more. So that's something which we've taken personally, and certainly are aiming to change before the end of the season. So I think that'll put us definitely on our right foot forward. Absolutely.
And in Aneurin, I kind of feel, you know, just obviously what Jumbo was saying, it's almost there. It's coming, isn't it? The big performance and the big score is coming.
Yeah, this season's been a bit of a weird one now. You know, we've been in a lot of tight games this season, and sort of haven't really got over the line in most of the games. I think the disappointing thing for us about the two Benetton games was we probably slipped off our performance a little bit.
Sure.
After them two games. So yeah, definitely, it's always in the back of your mind when you go into training that, you know, obviously we haven't been good enough in terms of you know, results this season, and you know, a lot of the games this year have been real one-score games, close in the last sort of 10 minutes. So yeah, there is needed a big performance, big reaction from the last two games. So I definitely know the boys are working hard to try and put that right.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your honesty there, guys. We'll move on to a question which came in from Jonathan Wilkins to Gonzalo. Are you there, Gonzalo? Are you making toast? Are you making a cup of tea?
No, sorry. I live on my own, and I have some stuff doing on before the Zoom, so it's going to burn all the things.
It's all good. Sorry. It's all good. No, that's fine. We just want to know who your rugby hero was growing up and who had the biggest influence on your career, obviously, you know, growing up elsewhere, obviously, than Wales. You know, I think some of the Welsh boys have all maybe got the same sort of guys they look up to. But who was yours?
Oh, it's a really difficult question because I don't have like one hero. It's not that when I was young, I fall in love with the game, just competing and always trying to win. And I can't say like I have one hero. If not, that's I love the game. I love competing. So that's,
you just fell in love with the game.
Yeah.
I love that. Daniel Hallett, who we just spoke to earlier, what's Gonzalo cooking?
You want to answer? Yes, some chicken breast, some sweet potato, some salad.
I like that. I like that. Beans, chips, and beans, cheese, and chips. That's a good one to have. Thank you very much, Gonzalo. Moving on to Roger Booth. He sent in a question for Jumbo. When are the Dragons squad going to recognise that they can be, and in my view, are equal to any team in the league?
I think we do believe that. It's very hard. I think confidence has been very low, and when I've been here for quite a while, we've had stints of games where you don't win basically for about 3, 4, 5, 6 games, and the ball, you know, seems like it's a bit of a never-ending cycle. But when we've got over it in the past, it's literally the players have got to come together and figure out what's the best way to go, and that's normally got us out of the hole. And I think I keep harping back to it, but the past 2 weeks we've done that. I think as players we've grown tighter and started figuring out for ourselves. We're not waiting for any answers. And you know, looking at the squad on paper is, you know, it can compete in this league for definite. And I think, you know, we've got to start believing that. And then I think if we get a couple of wins, not saying we're going to win every game, but certainly we can get, if we just keep drawing performances and get a couple of wins, I think that can really spur on the confidence and get the ball rolling.
Awesome. Thank you for your answer, and thanks for your question there, Rog. We'll move on to Deb Hamilton, who's got a question for you and Aneurin. I would like to ask Aneurin who he felt his 3 biggest influences have been in his career so far.
Coaching wise, Matt O'Brien, attacking wise, growing up through the academy with him and him being the coach, and just the way he sort of taught a group of us coming through the academy how to see the game, that really sort of connected with me and I sort of aligned with, and I've learned loads from him and sort of took a lot of ideas from him, and he sort of looked after me a lot coming up through the academy and into the senior environment. And then defensively wise, Simon Cross, our defense coach. I think last year when I moved up to 13 and I was playing a bit, I was trying to get the 12 as well with Jamie, and he would literally sit with me after sessions, after, you know, training days, and literally just go through loads of my clips and my games and stuff like that. And literally he almost taught me how to defend almost. So them two from a coaching wise, and then probably it's been harped on a lot, but probably Jamie and Nick coming to the learning from them for 1.5 years at the time when I was as well. From a player point of view, that was literally perfect for me, and 2 guys who were were class with me, and, you know, didn't stop. I didn't stop learning from. So I'd say them.
Yeah, and I don't know, when Jamie left, he spoke very highly of you and Aneurin. What were his like parting words to you as he left?
We were in the changing room, and I just finished. I was just about to leave, and he came over, and we had a bit of a chat together, and I just sort of said thank you to him for, you know, the last few years, and you know, all his help really, and said all the best with Oz, and you know, obviously his wife's due a baby as well. It was just really a big thank you, and, you know, it was nice to close it off that way, because the last sort of 2 years have been really good in terms of my development.
Love that. All right, cool. Thank you very much for your answer there. David Hancock has got a question, and this is to all of you. So, Gonzalo, we'll start with you, but tell us which teammate has the most annoying habit and why.
Oh, I know in habit. I don't know. It's hard to say.
We won't tell anyone what happens in Zoom stays in Zoom. Okay.
I would never say something of inside the team. Sorry, boys.
Okay, so it's down to Aneurin and Jumbo. Who are you going to say?
Joe Davis has got a terrible habit of just stepping on everyone's feet. And I'm not even joking. I think there's a few boys who miss training because he's like either broke their foot or the swelling has been so bad. So literally, I just try and whenever you train, just stay away from him. He's an absolute nightmare.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and Aneurin, would you back that up, or have you got someone else?
It's probably what happens in the forwards, in the malls and stuff. Josh Lewis, a proper wind up. He's hiding behind a corner or something, or tap me on the shoulder and make you look round. He's always trying to wind someone up, so I'd probably say him.
Fantastic. Are you sure you don't want to mention anyone, Gonzalo?
No, I'm sure.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, maybe you can answer this question. This is from
maybe Lewis Jones. All the things that he does.
Just everything. There's an accumulation.
Yeah, everything.
Okay, fine. We'll take that one. Thanks, guys. We've got a question for you, Gonzalo, once again, from Howell Phillips. He says, how much have you enjoyed playing at Rodney Parade and in front of crowds after last season? Do you enjoy the Rodney roar from the terraces? I know, obviously, you missed out the first part of your time here, but obviously getting back into it now.
Yeah, I love the playing in front of the Rodney, in front of our fans. And I think it's one of the best, if not the best thing that Dragon have is playing there. It's like, it's really complicated playing there, the atmosphere. I don't know, it's a rough place to go to play. So I love playing in that stadium, and I love playing in front of you guys.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that question, Howell. Christian Hyde. Hello, Christian. I know that you were there. Have you finished off all your snacks? Hope you're having a good night. He says, well, a question for Jumbo. And he says, Dean Ryan publicly said that Hibs was his safety net. Are you now the safety net? And as you have taken up the hooker role, do you have any input from your partner's father?
I don't know if I'll be the safety net just yet. Obviously, I've got to get a bit more experience than that. But no, I haven't had any input. No, because I don't know if you know, my partner's father is Gary Jenkins, former Welsh hooker. But no, he has. To be fair, he's been great. He's sort of just let me get on with it. To be honest, he hasn't really given me too many pointers. But yeah.
He doesn't sort of sit you down and have a big analysis after the game, does he, with you at all?
No, I think, to be fair, he's quite positive, everything he says. So, no, he's been quite kind so far.
Awesome. Okay. Sean Connor has sent in a question for you and Aneurin. He says, you've been commentating on the Dragons under 18s this season. How confident are you for the big final with Cardiff Rugby tomorrow at the Arms Park? And how impressed have you been with the next generation following you through the academy?
Yeah, so I did the Ospreys versus Dragons game, and then ended up watching the Scarlets game as well at the 2 home games. And they've been class, to be fair. The attacking rugby they're playing, it's been really good to watch. They got some good youngsters coming through. Yeah, and they got obviously the game tomorrow, which is going to be a tough one against Blues, because I think they've both got maximum points against everyone else. So it's literally just a showdown between them two. So yeah, it's exciting. And also as a player, you see all this talent coming through, and it's like, you know, you've got to keep watching behind you as well, because there's always people coming through the Drags Academy, because they always produce some really good players. So yeah, no, I might go and watch tomorrow, because they've been playing really well, to be fair.
And who are the names when you sort of, you know, you're watching the academy or you're commentating, obviously? Who are the names then when you go into the changing room the next day and you say, we got to watch out for these guys? Have you got any names?
I don't think that's happened, but when I was watching, their backs have been on fire, to be fair. The way they move the ball and the way they play the game with their attacking kicks and the way they're passing and they're moving the ball, the point of contact and stuff like that is been really good to watch, to be fair, and they've been scoring some really good tries. So yeah, it's really good to see.
Fantastic. Gonzalo, how's your tea? It's not burning, is it? Because there's lots of speculation about what you're having in the chat. Oh, you're on mute. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. This chat is more important than my food. I would eat later.
Good stuff. So a question for all of you. This is from Gary Johns. Favorite player to play alongside and hardest player to play against? Gonzalo, we'll start with you.
Best player that I have played with, I think, is Pablo Matera and Nicolas Sanchez. And the hardest player to play against him, I think, is Adi Savea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jumbo, what are yours? So your favorite player to play alongside and the hardest player to play against?
Like favorites would probably be Toby Faletau and Nick Cudd. Can't really split them really.
Okay.
Both different players, but they were class. Hardest, I think Reece Webb had just a funny thing of scoring against us all the time, which was a pain. But I think there's a back row for Ireland. Is it Van der Fleur? He's always been really good against us for Leinster. He's probably one of the toughest back rows to come against.
Perfect. And Aneurin, who would you say your favourite player to play alongside and the hardest one to play against?
Probably favourite to play with. I've really enjoyed playing with Ross this season.
Yeah.
The way he plays his class and sort of get a bit of a lift from the way he plays, just absolutely smashing people and running as hard as he can into people. So I'd probably say him. And then the hardest, probably the hardest one playing for Drags was probably last year in the Principality when I played against McCloskey. Just the physicality, but then also the skill to play as well. He's sort of like, he had a lot of everything really. So you almost had to mark a lot of things. So I'd probably say him.
Perfect. Okay, we'll move on to John Parry. Has got a question for Jumbo. He says, how have you found the physical requirements of playing at hooker, and how much of an influence has Methan Davis had with you?
Yeah, it's been quite difficult really. Because when I came back, I just come back from sevens, and then so the initial conversation about changing position was to centre rather than to the front row. So it's quite a difference. So I used to play back row at about 97, 98 kilos, and now currently I'm about 103, 104. So it's only about, I'm not sure what it is in stone, but yeah, it's different. You need different strengths. You have to scrum. It's a lot different to being on, in the back row and the backs so it's a lot heavier on your legs. So you need that leg strength, and you do need that weight behind you, because in the scrum, if you're under pressure, you need to really stay low and drop your chest, and you need weight and strength to do that. And if you don't have it and you're too light, you're going to put the scrum in jeopardy. So it has been difficult, but I'm getting used to it now, so it's fine.
Sure. Oh, good stuff. Jamie Evans, to all of you. Gonzalo, we can see that you've opened your door in the back there. You haven't burnt your tea, have you?
Oh, no, I'm a little bit hot here. Okay,
good. Jamie says to all of you, Gonzalo, you can kick it off. What's been your favourite Dragons moment so far? The one that you think back and say, yeah, that's been a highlight for me.
Yeah. To be honest, I love every second and minute playing for the Dragons. And I think that you must love the highs and lows, because if not, it's like you only focus on the success. But when we play in the Principality, it was my first time playing there, and I really enjoyed it. And my first game in the Rodney Parade, it would last in my mind forever.
Amazing. There's some great memories for you. What about you, Jumbo? What's your favourite Dragons moment so far?
Probably. It was a long time ago actually. Beating the Cardiff Blues in the Challenge Cup quarter-final, Ronnie Parade is probably, I don't know if it might have been the biggest crowd Dragons have ever had as a region. So that was awesome. And they had a stacked team, to be fair, and we beat them. But then maybe as a squad was probably when we beat the Scarlets, and I didn't play in the game, but when we beat the Scarlets in Judgment Day a few seasons ago. Just the whole squad effort really for that last run in. I think just Bernard left his role and we really just came together as coaches and players and got a good result.
Fantastic. Yeah, the atmosphere was great for you then. And Aneurin, what about you? You probably have to rattle your brain over the last couple of years, but your favourite Dragons moment so far?
One I was really looking forward to doing was the Blues versus Dragons one. We played them at the Arms Park at the end of October, and just to experience sort of the crowd there, obviously watching it growing up and to then be a part of it, that was really, exciting day and something I really enjoyed being part of. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, we've had a couple of extra questions, so we'll just throw it out there. Again, you've got to pick one of your players, Gonzalo, I'm afraid. Who has the worst dress sense?
Who's the worst?
The worst dress sense, where you think, God, that doesn't go at all. Terrible fashion sense.
Yeah, Lewis Jones, for sure.
Okay, again, nice.
Yeah, my dad dressed better than him.
Oh wow, I like that. Okay, we're going in with Lewis. What about you guys, Jumbo and Aneurin? You going to stick with Lewis or someone else?
I'm going to go Sam Davis.
Okay.
Straight baggy jeans, Hollister polo, stuff you used to wear when you were 14.
Classic. Okay, Aneurin, what about you?
Probably from one of the younger lads. Whoever saw Ben Carter on a night out, baggiest jeans ever.
Oh gosh.
Like parachutes. Yeah, so I'd probably say him.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for those. And the final question is, you're all seasoned pros. You all are very good at what you do. Who is going to win the Six Nations? Gonzalo? As someone who's not biased at all, you can tell us who you think, even though you've got obviously some of your teammates in the Welsh team.
I hope that Wales win the Six Nations. My heart is with you.
Fantastic. You're like our adopted Welsh guy. I love it. Okay, Jumbo?
I think France probably win it.
Okay. What are your thoughts behind Wales then?
Oh, Wales. I think we'll be. I don't know if we're probably just behind. Just behind Ireland and France at the minute. They're pretty good, but I like to think we can beat England.
Perfect. Like your honest assessment. And Aneurin, who are you going with?
Yeah, I probably agree with Jumbo there. I think Ireland and France have probably been the two best teams. They haven't got many injuries, have they? And the level they played at on last Saturday was unreal. But Jumbo said, I think Wales should beat England.
Perfect. Well, thank you for being so honest, guys. Thank you very much for answering the questions. Let's give a little Zoom round of applause. I know you can't hear them, but Gonzalo and Aneurin and Jumbo as well. Thank you very much for joining us. There is one more thing we need to do. As I mentioned at the start, our headline partners, Compeed, are tonight giving away a signed Dragons jersey. Everyone who registered has automatically gone in to the hat and randomly selected. Ben Mottram sent me the winner. It is Keris Colan. I think that's how you say your second name. Well done, Keris. So that jersey, thanks to Compeed, is going to be signed by our three players who you've spoken to tonight. And thank you very, very much for Compeed for giving us that great prize. But as you heard Dan Hallett say earlier, that our next Q&A is going to be with David Buttress, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, very, very good value for many, and he will give you a few home truths if you never need them, but he will be fantastic. I believe that's going to be taking place next Thursday night. But as always, check out social media for the date of the next Q&A, and more sign-ins coming very soon. It's an endless announcement hit at the moment on Dragons Twitter. But once again, thank you very much, Gonzalo. Thank you very much, Aneurin and Jumbo. JJ as well, we had our brand new signing. Great to hear from him, and thank you very much to all the Dragons community and the supporters club as well. Have a nice night, and all the best for the weekend, guys.